Happy Lughnasa, everyone. Happy first harvest of the year. Happy first fruits. This is a big one for us. This is also our 1 year anniversary doing this podcast. And we have a lot to talk about today, including why we suddenly went silent for a little bit. I just want to take a moment before we get into this to celebrate the gift that Taichu has given to the land, that it may be fertile and give us much to eat and keep us to stay. Hopefully, Lu will strike down the demon god of summer so that we can have a good harvest. It has been super, super hot.
I know our weather alone is symbolizing that, because
It really
we
feels
have
that way.
been under the highest warning of go outside and you will combust into fire, heat warnings of the hottest days. I know we're recording this just before Lughnasa, but on Lughnasa itself, the weather is going to break. It's going to be literally 20 degrees cooler. So welcome autumn. Welcome autumn.
Looking forward to it so much. Today, we're going to be discussing a little bit of Lughnasa, but a lot of the State of the Union, what's been going on with us and what's going to be going on in the future as we walk together down CreationsPaths. Hello, everyone. My name is Charlie. I am a Christopagan druid and priest of Bridget.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian. I'm a Christopagan druid and sous chef to the dog dad.
And today we are going to be getting everybody up to speed with what's been going on and what's going to be the future of not just this podcast, but our YouTube channel, our Substack, our website, everything going forward. We've got a lot of irons in the fire and catching everybody up on what's been going on over the last couple of weeks. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whatever the terminology is on whatever app you listen to us on. We've got a lot of really fun stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing. All right, let's just get into it. So first of all, let's start with the bugbear. You may have noticed that part of the way through Divine Feminine Week, the episodes just stopped. And I don't know, we missed an entire week, didn't we?
Basically, +1.
Long story short, I'm fine now. I had a health event that took me out. I was bedridden, barely able to, it was a lot for about a week. My voice still isn't 100% back. And I feel really awkward recording this without like strong voice, but I'm doing a lot better. And we've figured out what's going on. Things will be better in the near future, but I got very sick. Basically what happened. And that's where everything went away. But I have to say, kudos to my husband, Brian, who took over duties for me. He has been doing a great job. He's finished several of the thumbnails for the episodes that I hadn't had the energy to do before I got sick, and even did the last moon meditation, which was beautiful. As I'm getting my strength back, I'm going to be getting back into things and moving forward a lot. Before we get into what's going to be changing, because there's going to be a lot of changes coming up to the podcast, and don't worry, a lot of really cool stuff is coming. I wanted to just celebrate y'all for a minute, because when we started this a year ago, we didn't really have high expectations. This isn't the first time we had tried to start a podcast on these topics. In fact, for anybody who's actually subscribed to the podcast itself, and I think we even have the episodes archived on the YouTube channel, you'll notice our old podcast archived over here. We didn't really have high expectations since we had tried several times. And this is a really tricky space to get the word out in and to grow and to attract an audience of like-minded people, because a lot of the folks that are interested in the things that we are very scattered all over the place. We didn't know what we were getting into when we started. We had a plan. We kept procrastinating on the plan. And then we basically set a date that we were going to start on Lughnasa and get it done. And we did. A year later, a lot has happened. Do you want to run through the number?
Well, we've had 782 subscribers over the past year
on YouTube,
and quite a bunch of subscribers over on Substack, over 100 new subscribers on Substack, in addition to the ones before. We're at 915 total on YouTube. So almost to 1,000.
Almost to 1,000.
Hi, friend, have them subscribe. Let's hit that number, that 1,000. We can all celebrate. Be like, oh, we hit 1,000. Yay. You leave something in the comments that you want to see from us when we hit 1,000. That's how the game is played.
That is how the game is played.
That is how the game is played. So we'll play the game. Let us know in the comments what you want us to do when we hit 1,000. And we'll do a special for everyone. We've had over 22,000 views over the past year, which is amazing. We were expecting about half of everything.
Yeah, our goal was to try to
Awesome.
get to 500 in the first year. We almost got to 1,000. So thank you all so much. That's
Thank you
insane.
all so much.
It's amazing.
We're hoping to continue that growth and to be able to reach a lot more people in the next year.
The podcast itself has been growing well. It's hard to know the exact numbers because we don't get them reported back to us, but we've had quite a few downloads. We've been watching the downloads grow and become more consistent. And it's really cool to see people on the podcast feed itself growing. YouTube has been the main place that's been growing and where most of the comments and engagement are in. I just want to say thank you to everybody who leaves comments. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah.
I
would say it's also impressive over on YouTube because YouTube made some major changes right around December and it affected everybody. We were not excluded from that. I am so impressed with all of our growth and continued growth even since December because we had amazing growth up until the change and then it slowed way down. I don't like playing the game of what if it continued the way it was because that's just a path for suffering. It's still been really good growth, all things considered. Hopefully they'll get whatever they broke fixed.
That would be lovely because as somebody who watches a lot of YouTube, I really feel like my For You page is just trash now.
Yeah.
And it would be lovely if they could get it fixed.
Yeah, it feels like it's really hurt the user experience. I know there are a lot of people who subscribed who probably thought we stopped doing episodes a long time ago because I'm pretty sure they stopped seeing us even though they're subscribed. I guess that's when I say make sure you hit the bell for reminders.
Just a reminder. You're listening to us on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the bell.
Hit the bell. I always giggle when I hear people say that. And then I go, yeah, support have the reminder because if you don't hit the bell, you don't get the reminders. Even when it comes to shows I'm very excited about, a week, 2 weeks later, so much happens in my life that I forget. And it's not until I see it again. It might be after its entire season's gone on and I'm like, oh, I really wanted to see that shit. Oh, there have been times where Charlie's like, I thought you weren't interested. And I'm like, no, it fell off the radar.
But one of
Too many things.
One of the cool things that they did give us over on YouTube is they opened up the community tab so you all can actually send messages to us there. You don't have to find a video to comment on. You should be able to just go over to our YouTube channel at CreationsPaths and leave us a message and start conversations, not just with us, but with each other, especially if you have questions you'd like us to cover, because we are changing the way we do things. You're still going to be getting a lot from us. We have been debating how to deliver what we're doing in the best way for what audience, who's going to be interested in what, and not have everything siloed into one podcast. Everything flowed through the CreationsPaths podcast over the last year, and we have a lot of really good content up here. But going forward, we're going to have quite a few podcasts. If you're a podcast listener, make sure you're subscribed to our Church of the Oak podcast and our Hollowstead podcast, which will be coming back with new format. The Church of the Oak podcast is actually going to be a replay of a regular Wednesday live stream on the YouTube channel. We're looking at it in 30 minutes to an hour. The conversation gets really good, but it'll be a nice place where you come talk with us. We will be bringing topics, doing a little bit of prayer and collective presencing together. We don't have our first one scheduled just yet, but they are going to be happening at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's -6 UTC. Luckily, once we schedule things on YouTube, it will show the time in your local time zone. This is a time that I found in the past that worked well. We've been able to have people from South Africa, Europe, and Australia. It's not a great time for everyone because, 24 hours in the world, but it's one that has worked out well for us in the past as far as getting a large group of people organized. So we're going to give that a try and see how that works. But don't worry if you can't make the live. The replay will be up on the channel and on the podcast for anybody who just wants to listen. I am looking forward to that, having some one-on-one interactions with y'all and having some fun. Those will probably be starting in a week or two. Once we have the first one planned, we will start scheduling them. We'll also start being specific about the topics. I'm being a little vague right now because we have some ideas for topics. We're thinking about trying to make it as relevant as possible. Also, we're going to try to have some interviews and guests. on some of those. We already have a few people that want to come on just to barrage us with questions. We have some people that want to come on and discuss a couple topics. There's some people that we would love to interview and have on the show. A couple people that we've already reached out to about that. So we'll see how the scheduling ends up working out. I'm really excited about this.
She is technically studying up right now to be ready for her question corner time.
This is true.
I teased her about getting a whole segment of somebody's question.
I was thinking about somebody else who we've had
Oh, yeah.
tangential conversations with. They seem interested, and we'll see about that. Some of the interviews may be pre-recorded. Some of them may be live, depending on the person and their availability. But at any rate, we will be here to discuss the interviews. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's a format we haven't really done before. It's not going to be interviews all the time, but I think it would be really interesting to bring in certain people and other voices and really try to build out the community and the connections and just increase the amount of wisdom that we're bringing together on this channel. I'm not going to say too much yet about what the Hollowstead is going to be, but it's maybe the podcast I'm most excited about.
Excited about this one coming back in the format that we're looking at bringing it back in.
I pitched the idea for this a while ago, and I have some ideas of how I want to do this. It's been a long time coming. My energy levels have not been the best trying to keep up with everything, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a little bit different from what you're used to, but really interesting, super deep dives into metaphysical and spiritual ideas. I can't wait to do. So I'm very excited about that. Did you want to announce the other two that we're going to be doing?
Yeah. So the next one that we're going to be doing, this one's going to probably take a couple weeks before we get everything ready and launch it, but we're going to start exploring the fractal kinship. I'm kind of calling it in my head a mini series, but it's more like a maxi series. It's going to be much longer exploration. We spent a week looking into fractal kinship and what it all is and what it means. We want to actually be able to spend a lot more time to deeper dive into the subject matter and the complexities and nuances involved in it. That's going to be one of them where it will be specifically dedicated to those different aspects.
I'm really looking forward to that one. We have a lot to say about that. There's actually a lot of unpublished stuff on it. Just needs some polish, and it's going to go up on the site. If you haven't checked any of that out, we're at fractalkinship.com. It's my look into the noosphere, into the ideas of holarchy and holarchism, and this idea of how to have organization based in flattened circles and not in hierarchy. It's been something that I've been studying for a really long time, but had a breakthrough. And yeah, all my notes are going up over there. So I'm very excited about that. This one also is going to be one of our first member first podcasts. Over the last year, we have picked up 6 paid members, which is amazing. Thank you all. You help us to keep doing this. If you want to join, you can help us over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or Substack. As a thank you, they will be getting these episodes a couple weeks early when we launch the podcast, and the next one will be behind the paywall for paid members. They will stay behind the paywall for 2 weeks, then it will go out to everyone else. So don't worry, you don't have to be a paid member if you can afford to be a paid member. Everything's going to be going out to everybody, but we figured this would be just a little thing that we could do to say thank you to the people who are helping to pay the bills, and also make sure that we're taking the time to answer their questions and concerns, because again, they're helping to pay the bills.
Yeah. And that's kind of part of this whole thing, to more effectively manage our resources. And part of those resources being the time and energy. The financial support really helps, because the goal is to get to the point where I can not have to take time and energy away from what we're doing to work on other things for other people, and be able to dedicate that to this so that we can do even more content.
And if you're wondering why we're not offering this through YouTube memberships right now, we need y'all to give us more watch hours. Help us to find more people to watch. We are just shy of the watch hour requirement to offer YouTube memberships. So we will be offering that because we feel like all of our content should be available wherever people are.
That's not available yet.
Yes, we just need the watch hours. We're working on that. The other podcast is going to be much more of a floater. It's very much a mini series.
Yeah, let's head.
We actually talked about this on the podcast before, and I thought this would be a really fun thing to do. We're going to be doing a full book study of The Revelation of Divine Love by Julian of Norwich. We're going to be going through some of the biggest parts of the book, like an old school Bible study. We're going to read the text. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have a deep dive. I think Julian has a lot to offer us in this modern world. I'm going to be using the Mirabai Star translation of Julian, which is beautiful, and I absolutely love it. It's a really good adaptation of our work into modern English, but you don't need it. Julian wrote in English, though you need to be able to read Old English to read the original text. It is absolutely beautiful text, but there have been quite a few updates of the Revelation over time that are in the public domain. You can find those at Project Gutenberg or wherever fine books are served. Archive.org has quite a few of them. It is an English book, so it doesn't need a lot of translation work, but some words have radically changed meaning since the original book was written, and grammar has changed a lot. Some clarification needs to be done for some of the passages. I love the Nearby Star version of the book, and so that's the one we are going to be reading from. I've been looking forward to doing something like this with y'all, and this is going to be a limited time podcast. When we get to the end of the book, that podcast will be over, and then we'll start talking with y'all about what you want the next one to be.
Druidcraft.
Yeah, with the Druidcraft book, we like this idea of either picking a topic to super deep dive into, or picking a book that we can super deep dive into and do a really rich study on. And we're going to be doing those as standalone one-off podcasts that when we get to the end, we get to the end. It is also going to be a member first podcast. The first 2 episodes will be available at launch. The 3rd episode will be there, but behind the paywall for paid members. 2 weeks later, it will become available for everybody. We are committed to making sure everything we do is free, but we are looking to find ways to encourage people to help us continue this work and find ways to reward people. And as we're getting ready to launch each of those podcasts, if you have some friends that you think might be interested, we are going to give out some group discount coupons so that people can get memberships for a little bit less than what we normally offer. Just a thank you to everybody who wants to get in, maybe can't afford. And also let us know about our pricing. That's something we debate about a lot. We're trying to make this a full-time endeavor. It's a hard road to walk down.
And that's the thing with the shift, where we were doing an episode of CreationSpirituality 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Even though we're not doing that 5 days a week, we're still doing 5 different things throughout the week.
Yeah.
In fact, we technically are going to be doing more when it's
it.
all up and running, because we were doing 5 20 to 30 minute episodes, and now we're going to be doing like 3 probably 30 to 40 minute.
Yeah.
The live may be longer. It just depends how conversational we all are. Sometimes, as you've already seen on some episodes, it just takes the one right question or comment, and Charlie pulls the soapbox out, and an hour or 2 later.
Yeah. I'm going to try to behave because I don't want to be doing super long episodes, but we'll see. I think the live one, Church of the Oak, is going to be the most variable in length. So I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I think that has an opportunity to go a bit longer, but we've got a lot of really cool stuff planned. I'm kind of sad that we're changing things, because change is always hard, but I really like the way that we're going with everything. I think this is a much cleaner, easier to understand way to deliver what we're doing. One of the weaknesses with what we've been doing with CreationsPaths is it has been a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now it can focus on that Christopagan Druidic content that we originally intended it, and spin some of the other stuff out into other places. I think this is going to be a benefit in the long run, but only time will tell.
Yeah. And that's the hope too. I think we're up to now, 12, maybe more technical books roughly outlined, sitting in the pipeline, just needing to be worked through.
Yep.
And so it's like we need to trying to shuffle things around so we can have time to get those done, to get those things organized. Midway last year, we talked about classes and stuff, and
this is an evolution of that idea, because we're still planning on doing those, but they're going to in that podcast slot that the Revelation of Divine Love is in. They'll be rotating through there. We were already planning on doing it this way, where they were behind the paywall for a couple weeks and then out there. So it's pretty much that plan getting initialized now.
We're rolling it out with other elements and getting to test that. It's very exciting to sit back and look at our harvest so far and go, wow, that's awesome.
So thank you all so much for everything that you've given us over the last year, whether that's encouragement or really good questions to ponder. For those of you who actually gave us money, I applaud you because
Really appreciate
I
it.
really appreciate it. Y'all are so much help. You have no idea. It's been a rough year. We're going to be taking about another week for me to get my strength up before we come back. And we're going to roll back into it and not come back as a solid thunder, because I need to make sure that I don't overdo it.
And that's something else we also talked about, is we should probably take a couple weeks off where we actually plan to take the time off, rather than our bodies shutting down and making us take the time off.
Yeah.
Because when we planned everything out last year, we planned it all go and didn't even consider after that Christmas sprint where we did the
All 12 days of Christmas.
all 12 days of Christmas, and after Easter, even the 7 days of Easter, like part of me was like, "Man, we should have planned a week off after that." That was more of a push than I realized.
And
You
we
know,
also
and
did our best to stay ahead. That, like, I got sick earlier in the year, but we actually had enough
Yeah.
banked up that by the
We had
time I
enough
got
fear.
better, we just got back into
Yeah.
recording. And as far as anyone on the outside knew, nothing happened.
Yeah, because there was that one time where we got up to like 2 weeks ahead,
Yeah.
and he got sick. We got down to the point where we started recording the day before again and started slowly building that bank back up. That was kind of the same thing with Christmas and Easter. We had built up that bank, burnt through it all, and then we're trying to scramble to get things done just beforehand. So there'll probably be some of that planned in advance next year.
CreationsPaths is going to be coming out on Tuesdays. Church of the Oak will be recorded and going out on Wednesday, and Hollistead will be coming out on Thursdays. One will be on Monday, the other will be a Tuesday. We will announce them on this podcast as they get started, so don't worry about that. So I hope that you all are as excited about this as we are. We don't usually do a lot of these kind of about us episodes. In fact, I don't think we've ever done an about us episode before, really. But I figured
There was the super secret one that was supposed to be a members first content
Yeah.
that we still have.
Yeah, that will come
Never
out
got
at some
published.
point. We got into an argument with Apple
Oops.
about that one. That will eventually come out. So yeah, there is a super secret episode
Literally got lost in communication.
where we talked about some of this. So that will probably eventually see the light of day. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been here with us on this journey. We are looking forward to getting back into it and going forward. Thank you for the grace to take some time off while I were recuperating, and I look forward to getting back into the swing of things. If you're listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, or CreationsPaths.com, you can leave a comment right there. If you're listening to us anywhere else, even if they say you can leave a comment, they don't notify us, so we won't know. But you can leave a comment there anyway, because engagement is magic. And then head over to CreationsPaths.com, click on chat, and you can leave a message there, and we will see it, and we will be able to get back to you. While you're there, if you happen to have a few dollars, you can pass our way. We offer monthly and annual memberships. You can also support us on Patreon and Ko-fi. I am CE Dorset on both, and you can support us using the Cash App hashtag CreationsPaths. Thank you to everybody who does that. We are ever so grateful. Thank you so much. You all really do help us keep the lights on, keep a roof over our head, and food on our table. If we've ever said anything that's helped you out, please share it with others. That helps us out more than you know. Before we leave, I would be remiss. I have to give thanks and praise to my blessed Bridget, who has helped to see me through the last couple of weeks and helped me regain my strength, and to all the friends and family who have done the same. Thank you, Bridget, for all that you've done to help us build and to inspire this podcast and all the work that we're doing with CreationsPaths. Help us to keep doing the work that we're doing for justice, for peace, for the betterment of the world, and for the art of it. Amen.
Amen.